Let me tell you a story. My journey into addiction began with this old 80s computer, the Commodore 64. I'm Eric, a urge control and sacred energy coach. Back then, there was no internet, and the dial up wasn't even dial up internet. You called on your landline phone directly to another computer. They were called bulletin boards. I would call from my Commodore 64's primitive modem. This was not touchtone. This was a rotary modem. That's where I viewed my very first, I'll call, corn. The first image I saw, it kind of looked like this from a dot matrix printer. A bunch of dots, but you could kind of tell what the image was. Even back then, we were sharing corn with our friends. I remember my neighbor had a Texas Instruments computer, and he had these very primitive images that he was showing me as well. Crazy. I'll never forget the first video I saw. It wasn't on my Commodore 64. It was on a VHS tape. It was called Like a Virgin. About the same time came along cable TV and a channel called Cinemax, which we called at late night Skinemax. Outside of these things, the really only way to get that type of material was to go somewhere in person where you had to be 21 and let in through a locked door and show your ID. But little did I know those early moments would set me up later for disaster. I carried shame and guilt with me for decades. Finally, one day I was supposed to meet up with a friend for lunch who was dying from cancer. I missed the lunch because I was acting out. Then I met up with a mutual friend later that said, "Did you hear about Heather?" I said, "No." They said she died. I could tell you countless stories like that. Now, as a urge control and sacred energy coach, I'm sharing my story so you know that you're not alone. I would love to hear your stories or your early experiences. Drop in the comments below. And if my story resonated with you, then please follow me and click the link in the bio to take the next step.